Welcome back to another episode of Uniquely Mixed, where I keep you updated on politics and conspiracies.
Turn out of breaking news from the biggest abuse of power scandal in American history. We were right, and more so than we knew. Thanks to a federal court filing from Flynn attorney Sidney Powell, we now have access to a treasure trove of documents that should shock you to your core. Look at these text messages and notes released today. August 11, 2016, FBI agents openly worrying about Comey's Crossfire hurricane investigation into the Trump campaign. One agent remarking, doing all this election research, I think some of these guys want a Clinton presidency. Another worried the investigation being steered down a rabbit hole and engaging in conspiracy theories. Another writing, quote, I'm telling you, man, if this thing ever gets, well, Freedom of Information Act requested, guess what? There are going to be some tough questions asked.
A lot of these questions are just simple yes or no questions. When did you find out? Who did you tell? How did Obama know? She signed off on every single one of those FISA warrants.
Now, you told the Inspector General that the Carter Page FISA applications that you signed off on and that you now say that you read and carefully reviewed, that these applications, by the way, that contained multiple material misstatements and would later contain falsified evidence, you said that these were not a close call. You also told the IG that you thought that the application, the initial application and the renewals were appropriate steps and you didn't have any qualms about them. Do you recall what the FISA court said about these applications?
Yes, Senator. And when I was speaking with the Inspector General, I was referring to the applications based on the assumption that all of the information was accurate. What was learned later and what the FISA court was responding to later is that there were errors and omissions in this.
Well, the errors and omissions were there at the time that you signed off on them, were they not? And you just testified that you read them closely. So they were there when you signed off on them, correct?
That's correct. They were.
Okay. That were submitted to the court.
Well, now she says she hadn't.
Clearly, she's got to say that, right? Otherwise, she would have submitted knowingly false information, false documents to a federal court, which in and of itself is a crime. So, look, she's in a very tough position, but frankly, facts are stubborn things. There's no explanation. When she walks out of that January 5th meeting with Obama, with Biden, and the rest of the crew, and she sits down in the after meeting and she says, I mean, how could you not turn to Jim Comey and say, what the heck is going on here? How do I, you report directly to me, Jim. How is it that I don't know these basic fundamental facts about Flynn and everything else that's going on? I just find it so hard to believe that someone who works directly for you, you don't know where they are, what they're doing, what kind of investigation they're conducting, and after the fact, you go in and call them rogue. I don't buy it.
The day of reckoning is upon us when it comes to Crossfire Hurricane. James Comey has agreed to appear before the Senate Judiciary Committee on September the 30th without a subpoena. We're negotiating with McCabe, Mr. McCabe. We're hoping to get him without a subpoena. Time will tell. Mueller has declined the invitation of the committee to appear to explain his report.
Didn't stop them after the election. Agents were so worried about the partisan conspiratorial nature of what they had done with Crossfire Hurricane, they purchased professional liability insurance. Turns out they actually obtained an insurance policy because of their implementation of the insurance policy that Strzok and Page talked about. And get this, several agents were also highly concerned about the now infamous January 5th meeting at the Oval Office between Obama, Biden, Yates, Clapper, Comey, and others. That's the memo to self Susan Rice moment.
So it looks like Miss Yates is pointing fingers at Mr. Comey. Luckily, Mr. Comey agreed to come September 30th. I wonder why he agreed to cover up his name. I mean, to stand up for his name, because Miss Yates kind of said he went rogue on that hearing there. That's kind of messed up on Miss Yates' part when she said she read thoroughly those FISA reports and she signed off for those FISA reports. So this is going to be interesting on September 30th. What Mr. Comey has to say about what Ms. Yates said, along with all the errors that that went along with this FISA warrant. This is going to be interesting, you guys. This is the biggest crime in history going on, in political history going on right now. This is insanely crazy that this is happening. And I mean, I guess it's 2020. Why would it not be happening, right?